Welcome to my show, the Honest Field Guide podcast, where I feature intimate conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners, sharing their origin stories, startup strategies, and the unexpected discoveries they make on the road to success. My name is JinJa Birkenbeuel, and I'm your host. Please join me this month for my very special edition of the Honest Field Guide Italia. I traveled to Italy during the height of their tourist season to learn from some of the most dazzling Italian entrepreneurs and business owners who focus their creative energy on excellence, beauty, and patience to make their businesses thrive. Let's go. All right. Fausto, I am so happy to be here, Fausto. Welcome to my show, the Honest Field Guide podcast.
You're welcome. I'm also happy to be here with you now.
So fantastic. So I am going to have a nice conversation with you about your business, your artistry, your ceramics, your vision. But right now I want to ask you, what is this in front of me and what are you building now?
Well, this is a bas relief I used to do. If you saw it around in the studio, there's other bas reliefs around. I like it because I like the technique of it, because it's like a puzzle. This is a piece of one of the maybe 100 pieces of this relief, and it's about cities. I love cities, big cities. I've been in big cities. I love the vibe of the city, even though I live in a small city now, but it's different now. And this is a city, and this like shapes or this form, it looks like a sound of the city or something like this.
Is this a commissioned piece, or is this something you're building on your own?
Because I like.
Because you like it.
And generally I sell it. I mean, my pieces I can sell suddenly, or maybe I can sell a few years later. But it's a part of being independent, do whatever you want at the end.
Right. And I want to ask you, with this, this artistic vision you have, right, with this work you're doing, where did this come from? Was it a dream? Was it something you did on paper? Does it remind you, what is it? Where did this idea come from for you?
Well, the idea of this city, or this kind of works, is about experience. I used to work in many places in the world through ceramic, and actually I did also a lecture recently in Estonia and the University of Art in Tallinn, and also here in Brescia. Is a lecture about ceramic and traveling. So because I did a lot of residencies, a few times in New York, or in Japan, in Korea, in London, and other places. And I love cities because when it happened to me to work as an example in New York, in America, in New York, I love the idea to have a studio which is not mine, but I can use as much as you want, as I want. And going out to have a coffee and be in Cooper Union having a coffee, so it's amazing. And I love the vibe of the city, the rhythm of the city, the number of people who does whatever they want, and nobody's taking care of you. I like to be like anonymous around sometimes. I love it. And this is a mess of the houses, and all together very compressed, and I feel it as a very, very powerful. I like it. That's the idea.
And how does this get installed? Does it sit on a table like it is right now, or?
No, when it's finished, I have to fire the clay, I have to glaze it maybe several times. When it's finished, I stack all together in a support, which is generally wood, and I put on the wall. That piece I did in New York, actually, in NYU. And I ship it here in boxes, and then I finished when I was here. The blue one. The blue one I did many years ago in NYU, when I was in art residence in NYU. And it's made by maybe 100 pieces. It's a puzzle, a sort of puzzle. And when I was here in the previous studio, which was smaller than this, I cut the support on wood and I stuck it together. And then it's becoming just one piece.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You can't dismount it. It's just stuck all together.
It's beautiful. So Fausto, why don't you let everyone know your name, where you live, and how did you become an artist?
My name is Fausto Salvi. We are in Brescia now, which is a medium-sized city nearby Milan, in the north of Italy. I was born here, but lucky me, I was traveling a lot. I've been away for like 15 or 18 years from here. I was living in other places in Italy, in Faenza, which is very popular and famous for ceramic, but also I have a studio in Milan, and then I had a studio in Buenos Aires for 1 year. And I've been living and working in different places, especially in Europe, as well in London. But then I came back to Brescia. I have a family now. I'm 60 years old, I mean, this year. So it's a kind of long story. And I work in ceramic as an artist since the beginning, since the 89, like it's a long time. And when I started doing ceramic, when I discovered ceramic, I realized that I didn't want it to be, how can I say, artisan. I didn't want it to do production. I wanted to express something more, to be an artist using clay. As an example, in this moment, this period of this recent period is ceramic is very popular, very in art. But a few years earlier, it wasn't popular. So it was like artisans' work, and it was very complicated to get into the art business, art market, art world, let's say. Now it looks easier, but it's still complicated because it is something that has a very, very long history and is really connected with the functional. But in my case, I never wanted to do something functional because I didn't want to be an artisan. I wanted to be an artist, and I was stuck on this idea in the beginning, and I'm talking about 20 years. It was very complicated, especially economically complicated. Then it got better and better. Now it's pretty okay. I have my market, and I'm still working around. Till the COVID arrived, I used to work a lot in Japan, in Korea, in London. Then COVID stopped everything. Now I'm starting again. I have a gallery in London. Japan and Korea just lost. Maybe we're gonna be industrial again, but I don't know. I don't know about it. And now a gallerist from Belgium is coming this week. So I started again international. But at the same time, I realized that I accepted to be an artist working and living and selling in my place, which I didn't want it because I wanted to travel. I miss traveling a lot. And if you live and work and sell in the same place, it's very hard to leave the place because always the time is occupied by something. But at the end, I have to leave the babies, so I have to be here anyway. And it's okay. I mean, it got okay for me.
You said a few things that were interesting to me. You said that, when you set up something in one place, it's hard to leave because you have commitments and you have ecosystems, you have people that are around you, you have businesses, and as an artist, how do you break out of that? Because now you have children too, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do to become inspired if you're not moving as much?
It's getting hard. Okay. I miss traveling because it's very inspiring for me. I like the contrast in the society, and if you stay, especially in this bold city like Brescia, you don't have so much contrast. And the world is complicated, especially in these recent moments. And I miss the contrast because it makes me think in many things, and it's much more interesting to do works if you are hit by something strong. Here, the city is very kind of quiet if you compare with bigger cities, of course. and I miss some complication, like daily complication, which I have, but it's a different way.
Different kind of complication.
I don't have a social complication, which I miss for my own job. And yeah, I'm always thinking and hoping to travel again. I'm doing it, but for a very short time. Before COVID, I used to maybe live 6 months a year around, in between like residences, maybe working to Japan 2 months, and then you go 1 month in London to finish work, maybe you have an exhibition, you travel. And when you travel, you meet a lot of people from other countries, from other cultures, which increase my, how can I say, language of feelings.
Yeah. Where do you buy your work?
Where do I buy?
Where can I buy your work?
If you
Yes.
can buy.
If anybody wants to buy, where can they buy it?
Well, I mean, you can see my works through Instagram or website. Or galleries. I have a gallery in London, 88 Gallery is the name. The other galleries, because I used to have galleries in Japan and Korea, they just stopped working together because of COVID, and then they changed their programs or whatever. A new gallerist is coming, but I can't say go to Brussels because I don't know yet. But I think he's coming this week or next week, and just to get some started working together, maybe.
Is this the one you were saying from Belgium that's coming?
Yeah. He has 2 galleries in Brussels and 1 gallery in Antwerp, and he's very interested, and he's coming to see works, and maybe we are going to start together, but I don't know yet.
Well, we are only about 2 or 3 years out of COVID, right? So I feel like since then, and everybody had slowed down. Everybody did. So now I feel like people are saying, let's get back out. Let's go back to do things. I mean, I'm traveling again.
Yeah.
I just started traveling myself. So I feel your desire to move around, because when you're moving around, as you said, there's music, there's language, there's colors, there's fashion, you see other things that are outside, and that inspires you to create, right? So I love that. But I wanted to ask you, so you are an independent artist, and I love earlier you said, I am not an artisan, I'm an artist. I don't want to make a bowl. I don't want to make a cup.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did you decide to just be an artist? How were you able to resist the pull to let me go work for someone and make money?
Well, because before to start working in Discovery, before to discover ceramic, I have been working a few years, and I realized that I didn't want it to have a job 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, to have a weekend free and August as everybody else. I didn't want it to get into this sort of common rhythm. And when I started doing ceramic, I did something like this, of course, mostly because I had to learn how to do everything in ceramic. Then I understand, because I was living in Valencia, which is a very small town, which is moving around ceramics since the 16th century. And I realized that I didn't want it because I wanted the same rhythm first, but also I don't like to use too much materials, too much energy. I guess it's very important to save energy, save material, because there's too many not important objects in the world, which is costing a lot of material and energy and shipping and moving and a lot of money and a lot of energy, which is not necessary.
Okay, so you had a like a moral, philosophical code around saying no. You resisted.
Yeah, and which was very complicated, because if you don't have money, it's very hard to resist it.
Yes.
But I didn't want it to get back to my previous situation, which I didn't like, and that's why I discovered ceramic, because I wanted to escape from this city in '88. I didn't like the rhythm and the mentality, in this mechanism, which was kind of impossible to leave. And then I said, okay, I leave the city, I leave everybody. I'm gonna find something new. And I discovered this place, which now is very
And
different.
this place is this place we're in right now, your studio, or the place of the location?
The city,
the city,
the
okay.
region,
The
the city region.
Okay.
But I'm talking about the city because when I was in the 88, I was 22, 23 years old. So
Very different.
Yeah, it was very different here because before internet, the province, the city, the small sized cities, they were kind of isolated.
Okay.
And with internet, everything is very connected.
So,
you can work here and sell in London and New York. In the beginning, you had to be in the big cities to have connection. Now you can be everywhere.
So when you were younger, I always love to ask this: were your parents business owners? Were you around people that made their own things, or did they go to work every day?
Go to work every day.
Really?
I'm like a black sheep of the
Are
whole
you?
family.
How many are in your family?
Well, I have a brother and sister, mother and father, but also the bigger city, the bigger family. My native, my cousins, everybody has a regular job. Only my uncle was like a painter, let's say for the weekend. He teaching me how to paint in oil.
Your uncle?
Yeah, but generally everybody had a regular job, and when I left the Brescia to go to France to do ceramic, they said, wow. They couldn't understand it.
Really?
Yeah, they couldn't.
So how did you discover ceramic?
Because I had well, by chance, let's say. Well, I did an art school, and there was also ceramic, but I didn't study ceramic, I studied something else. And when
What did you study?
Wood, in Tarsi, I don't know how to say, carving wood. And,
wood carving.
Plaster and stuff,
Okay.
molds and stuff.
So sculpture.
Not sculpture, but you do, as an example, in churches, when you do this, when you see this bars, generally they're in plaster.
Yes.
So you start working, you learn how to work with plaster, you do molds, but also you do sculptures, you do models. I studied this.
So I mean, it just to interrupt for a second. You've always had an interest in working with your hands.
Yeah.
Right? Like you said, I was just listening to you talk about painting. You're just like, oh, oil painting, like it's a brush. It's just
no.
I
used to paint a lot of ceramic, but the first contact I had with art, it was thanks to my uncle. He used to paint open air. Mm-hmm. And we used to go together in the countryside just to paint.
Wow.
That was really nice.
So it sounds like he was very important to you.
Yeah.
Like having a mirror to say, I see this, I can do this, I live it, I love it.
It's a very sweet memory. He died a few years ago, actually, but
sorry.
I was like 12 or 13 or 14 years old, and it was very nice.
How fortunate.
Yeah, it was very nice to go together and paint the hill or the trees and stuff like open air.
I like it. And so then, I love when you were saying earlier, I was able to resist, working and making money. I was okay with being poor. And so were you traveling a lot between the 80s and like pre-COVID? Like there was tons of travel, and were you working in other people's studio? Because it doesn't sound like you had really your own studio. You were...
No, I always had my own studio.
Okay.
I work in other places when I'm in residence.
Oh, okay, got it.
In London, in the school, in university, or in studios or other like colleagues. They become friends later. And when I was in Japan, it was like a ceramic art center. They invited me to go on Korean universities in New York University. And now I always had my own studio. In the beginning, I used to work in the kitchen in the house. Then it got bigger, slowly bigger. But the first 10 years, from 88 to 98, I stayed in finance. I stayed because finance at that moment was they had a really international group of people just coming and leaving finance constantly, like 10 years Erasmus project, COIC, as a feeling. It was very nice to stay in a small place, but I feel like to constantly traveling because there was people from all over the world coming, stay 1 year, 2 years, leaving again, and new people are coming. So it was very, very nice. And I couldn't travel because I was young, not that good in ceramics, let's say, without money, so you stay there. But it was a very nice, special moment for friends and for me also.
So your uncle was inspirational for you, but it sounds like you earned a lot of opportunities to go into places. So someone must have seen something and like helped you, keep going. So was there people that in your life that helped you do that? Was there a special teacher? Was there just a group of people that you hung out with and you all kind of went together? What was that like?
I'm a very, how can I say, testardo in English? Testardo, stubborn.
You're stubborn. Okay.
That's the key.
Yeah, I like it. That's the key. You have to be stubborn. You've got to be stubborn to make it in the world. I love it.
I couldn't leave the idea. I couldn't realize that I left Brescia because I didn't like the rhythm, the work there, and be in another place and just having to do the same. I didn't want it. I wanted to be an artist. At the beginning it was very complicated, but we were in couple. I was in couple for 10 years with a woman from Argentina. He died a few years ago later now, and together we could resist for it to live without money, which is very complicated because it is becoming a social problem.
It's horrible.
You can't leave. You can.
We're all broke. Everybody's broke.
So you can't go out. You can go out to have a beer. You can go out to have a pizza. You can't just leave the house because you have no money. So it's becoming a social problem.
Yeah.
So you feel yourself isolated. Somehow. But lucky us because there was a lot of students. They were more or less in our same economic situation, and we used to have parties in the house.
Yes.
So it was nice anyway.
But you must have had a vision though, right? So I think about my son. He's a jazz pianist in New York. He's got one more year of college.
Okay.
And he keeps telling me, and keeps telling mom and dad, he says, no, I'm not going to take a day job. If I take a day job, I have failed in my vision to be an artist. I'm a jazz pianist. I'm not going to take it. He's like, I'm never going to take a day job. And I'm like, to your point, these days it's hard to not think about how you're going to make a living. But okay, so when you were his age, because he's just turned 21, were you had to have had a vision. You're saying you're stubborn, but you had to have been like, I am going to do this because I'm going to go here, or was that not happening with you?
Well, no, I wanted to be free. That's the point.
You wanted to be. He's that way. Freedom is freedom.
I wanted to be free
I love it.
To the regular mechanism
yes.
to move everybody. I wanted to, first of all,
I want to stop you for a minute because you keep saying this. You wanted to be free of the mechanisms that keep moving everyone.
Yeah,
I like that.
The mechanism means that they're not working every day,
yes.
8 hours, 5 days a week, or 6, it depends, and be free on the weekend. I didn't want it.
Like, no.
I couldn't stand it anymore. I wanted to decide, because actually you work much more than everybody else, because you work every day because you love it. And that's why we are gonna be never retired, because I'm gonna work till the end. I mean, I'm not waiting for the commission.
Well, in the United States, it's called pension, 401k, retirement money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting for the pension because I don't care. I don't think I have anything for pension because but I don't care. I mean, I don't want to be attached because I see I heard many people who are maybe they are my age around the pension time. They are waiting for me to retire. I barely understand why. I understand, but I don't.
Yeah.
Because it's not my part. Because
right.
I don't care about the invasion. What it means.
Right.
I like to work. I work every day.
But you're working in something you absolutely love, yeah. And it's interesting because you mentioned in this particular town ceramics And it's ceramics, right? I mean,
Yeah.
what do you call yourself? Do you say I'm a ceramicist, or do you
Ceramicist.
say is that what you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ceramic
Okay.
artist.
Okay.
Because if you say I am doing ceramic, everybody thinks I'm pottery.
So then, that was one of my questions. If someone's asking you what you do, how do you describe it?
I'm an artist in ceramic.
And then the follow-up question is, what kind of ceramics do you do?
Yeah, and I say, okay, wash my images because it's very hard to explain. I mean,
Is that what you do?
Yeah, because if you say I'm an artist, everybody's thinking in sculptures.
Yes.
I like traditional sculptures somehow. How can I explain it? There is something like a design. My work is in between. Has a very long tradition. It's very connected with the ceramic work, but at the same time it has something like a design and also fine art. It depends because I do.
Is there a piece there that you can get over here, or are they all stuck there?
No. I can bring it.
I wanted to see one. I want to bring one to the camera here so that.
You go.
No, you get it. You go
Okay.
ahead. I want to bring it to the camera.
Well, as an example, I don't know. This is one of the small. This piece is maybe the unique piece I still doing since a very long time. The high love you, high in terms of
Ooh,
pain.
it's heavy.
It's the,
And it steals. It's beautiful.
because love is this. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like a small one. You have to touch it with care, because it can be also hurting you.
Oh yeah, it's like the thorns on a rose.
This is love.
This is
There's
love.
not the smooth ones.
This is, it is
Smooth one
beautiful.
is kind of.
And the color is beautiful. And
Right.
there's some glaze. There's like a special glazing. in
Yeah,
it.
it's double glazed, double firing, or whatever. I can do some in different colors. Generally, it's red because it's red.
So is this one of your pieces that sells a lot?
I don't sell a lot.
Really?
This piece, everybody loves it, but it's very hard to sell because if you buy it for yourself, it's okay. Generally, people buy it for themselves because you're never sure about the reaction of people who can receive this.
Oh,
Because,
really?
Yeah, everybody loves it, but it's not easy to sell. But this is okay.
So your vision on this one day was.
Sorry?
Your vision one day was like what? Did you have a dream?
No, I'm not dreaming. I don't remember my dream.
You don't remember your dreams, okay? I sometimes do, I sometimes don't, but how did this come into life?
Oh, well, because you live a relationship is very complicated, and we had a lot of cactus in the house,
I love it.
and
Yeah.
we said, okay, because the cactus is a very nice plant or tree, but you can't touch it. I mean. And so that's very simple.
You have other colors too.
Yeah, well, this is the I'm not doing production, but this is just one piece I still doing it, even though it's not it's made by hand.
What about that one right there with the blue?
This one.
Yes.
This one is like when I was talking about a bit of design work, a bit of art work. This is like Pratone. Pratone is.
Is this heavy? Pratone.
It's like if you take a lens,
This is beautiful.
and you see a grass.
Yeah.
This is enlarging a vision of a section of a grass.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah.
So you're going subatomic. You're going like under a microscope here.
Yeah, somehow. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's,
And these are smaller pieces, and I'm gonna walk around after we're done. But
Well.
you have much larger pieces, but these are the
Yeah.
small ones to kind of explain
Yeah.
that this is not pots and dishes and spoons and cups, which is what you typically see when you go into a guest shop or a little store. It's very conceptual.
As an example, this is a part of a group of works I did for during COVID. The title of this group is Hide and Seek. Fantastic, you know. Hide and seek, people are hiding or playing or hiding themselves.
They look like trees. Oh, they aren't trees.
Yeah. It's a hide and seek group of pieces. Generally, I do 10 pieces every team, let's say. This team, it was a hide and seek because it was a period when everybody went in the out of the house. You had to stay home, but you couldn't stand anymore. And you were risky going out, sneaking out. So.
You didn't know if the air was poison.
Yeah.
You were afraid to breathe.
Yeah, but actually I came to the studio every day. Every day.
This is beautiful.
This is hide and seek. There is a few pieces of it around here. But also I'm using metal works also.
That's
this
metal.
Is iron.
Oh.
This is iron. Sometimes I get relaxed using other materials, and if you do work only with the one material, it can be. I need some to change. To change kind of job, and this working with metal and with solid metal is very relaxing to me.
So for this piece here, did you first draw a sketch?
No, I draw it straight on the floor.
Okay.
And I cut the metal and I solve it. But this kind of work is the same I'm doing here. This
one
is
here.
three-dimensional.
Okay.
This is a fake three-dimensional.
Oh,
but
it's the same. It's the same concept.
Yeah, the cities, this is pollution. Brescia, this town is very famous for pollution.
Really?
Yeah.
This is pollution?
Yeah.
This, have you been
the whole area of Pianura Padana, Brescia, Milano, Bergamo, Padova, Pavia, Parma. The flatland is very polluted.
Interesting.
It's one of the most polluted areas in Europe.
Wow, I had no idea.
Not today. Today is clean.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah. Because I was thinking that when I think of pollution, I think of California.
Okay.
You know, and it's very polluted. It's hard to breathe sometimes. You know.
Wow.
It is definitely. So tell me a little bit about, and come closer. Tell me a little bit about your different chapters of your artistic journey, Fausto. Like, you started off doing what, and you transitioned to what, and are you in an era right now, or are you still working on one problem and you're trying to feel it and get done with it? Or?
Well, I started doing, when I learned how to do ceramic, I learned the traditional way, so painting maiolica. Maiolica is the traditional Mediterranean technique, which is a white glaze with drawing by brush. I did it for like 10, 12 years.
And did you do that on your own, or were you doing that under these internships and fellowships and
well, I learned it I learned it in school because we did a specific biennial courses called Arte Maiolica.
Okay.
Where they teach you how to do it.
Where did you go to school?
Faenza. Faenza is south of Bologna.
Okay.
It's the most important city in Italy for ceramic.
Really?
There is a school, there was courses, now everything is changed, it's different. But when I was there in 88, 89, I did one professional course, 1 year, 8 hours a day, just learning how to do ceramic. Because I didn't know any idea on ceramic. Then I did the biennial courses in the national school, which was very close by. And I worked and learned much more. And then I started working in my small studio in the house. Then I worked for a bit for little companies that is ceramic for tourists and so you learn how to do stuff. Then suddenly I started doing my own works, painting, making drawings on white glaze. And the theme was always like social problems since the beginning, and pollution and environmental problems. Because I still like the idea that through an object like a ceramic vase, which in our mentality is very innocuous. no
And not
it doesn't hurt you. It's a safe object.
Right.
You can get into the houses with strong messages through the drawings. So instead of doing like a cavalier, a chevalier with a decoration, you do like a city with pollution.
Right.
Which you see much better when you get closer, but from far away you see a front of me, which is very relaxing, no? I like this idea.
You like the challenge.
Yeah, to get into the houses with a specific message through my drawings as well.
I think that's important, especially now. Artists are special because they have an opportunity to use their art to tell a story and tell a message. One of my sons last week, he wrote a piece called Displaced for all the displaced people, a jazz piece. It's really beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I think artists, we have a special way. If you work in a corporate environment, you can't walk into the office and start talking about politics or pollution unless you work for a client company, right, or something like that. But generally speaking, you go into an office, you really have to keep your politics quiet, right? So I feel like that's one of the beauties of an artist right now. And I'm kind of curious right now, pollution, climate, and water shortages, these are huge issues that I think if people understood how much shortage we were having with water, they might realize that some of the other things that we're fighting about are not important because at some point you're like, where's the water going to go? And until they desalinate the ocean, right? I mean, what are we going to do? So how are you managing your creativity? Because my son, who's also an artist, it's very hard for him to take the social, justice, environmental out of his daily life. Like he's so everything affects him. He's still making art, but he does have moments where it's like, oh no. How do you, because you have a lot more experience, you're not 20 anymore, so what do you do?
For me, it's very easy to realize something that reflects my thought. I mean, I have no problems to get to work trying to realize something that expresses what I'm thinking. It's very easy for me. I was since ever very manual, so it's very easy for me to transmit through my hands what I want to do. I'm always been very productive, very fast, and very quick in doing.
You're fast.
Yeah. So doing works. So when people used to make maybe 2 or 3 pieces, I used to make like 20. So it's very quick. So and also get better to do technically better. It was very easy for me because being fast, you learn very quickly how to do stuff. You try this, it's not working, try that, and then at the end you understood from other people are still looking for how to do because when you work by hands, you have to teach hands how to do stuff. You don't have to be stuck in thinking on how to do. You have to, because the hands have their own capability to do stuff. I mean, if you think on doing, it's not enough.
Right.
You have to use your hands and try to understand how to do this and that.
Right. So I want to get back to my
My English is very.
It's perfect. Okay. No. It's like trust me, I love it. So
yeah.
You had your early phase, middle phase, and where are you now? Like, what are the phases? How many? Have you been in the same phase your whole life?
No, not really. I'm not really.
Because this looks different to me.
I'm changing constantly.
Okay.
As an example, this kind of works I did it for many years. I still do it now because when I do something or when I do a group of pieces, maybe I'm gonna reprise it like 5 years later. Oh. I'm still working on this idea. The topics are more or less the same. Environmental, social, and stuff like this. As an example, experimental vegetables, which is connected with Monsanto, OGM, and all this stuff.
Where's that one?
Well, this is a part of it.
This one right here that I'll show in a minute? Okay.
two trees.
Well,
But
let's do it
started
now.
many
I want
years
you to
ago.
talk. I want you to talk about that one.
I started many years ago doing experimental vegetables.
And this is it. This is one of the ones here.
Now it's getting bigger. These two trees. I used to have a big group of pieces, big pieces. Now I'm waiting to sell these two because I want to do more. But as an example, experimental vegetables, I started in the 2000 doing the first group of pieces because Monsanto is connected with Brescia, with PCB, because they sold the recipe of PCB to Brescia. And Brescia
What's PCP? PCB?
PCB is a polychlorylbiphenyl, and there is something chemical.
Okay.
And Brescia, in a factory in Brescia, bought from Monsanto, and 40 years later, Brescia got really polluted by PCB because in that period of time,
Oh, PCB,
there was
sure.
no ecological. So the ecological.
There was no
part-
regulations
there
or
was
safeguards. No one
regulations,
stopped them.
throw it on the river. So PCB is very is a problem very big for Brescia and the city in America. I don't remember now which it is.
Well, every city in America.
Two sites very polluted by PCB. So we started doing the experimental vegetables because the PCB was water and goes on the ground.
Yes,
And
yeah.
At the end, you eat it.
Yep. I remember reading a little bit about that. I mean, Monsanto is a tricky subject because of the power that they have. My sort of, experience and understanding of Monsanto, I think about the corn in South America and Mexico and some of the heirloom corn that some of the farm families are trying to maintain to protect against, the genetically modified corn. And so that's my sort of inner passion place is like, what's happening with the corn now? Do we still have it? And I'm worried about that. I'm worried about that and the wheat and the oatmeal.
It's very complicated.
It's complicated. Yeah.
Because Monsanto is a huge factory.
Yeah.
It's very powerful, so it's very hard to get in front of them. And they resist to this kind of power because they try to go as much as possible to make you change your business.
So, is this another one of the vegetable pieces as well?
This.
Yes.
This is a wall piece. Now it's really messy, the studio, because I've been working a lot this industrial.
You know what? Let me just say this. I don't know what messy is until you come to my house with my three sons. I think it's like immaculate in here.
This is a wall piece. And I started this group of pieces many years ago. And then, as I told you before, sometimes I would price the work and still working also years later. And this is came to my mind during a workshop in Austria where the title was Water. And I took this title in a political way because it was 2004. There was a water emergency.
Here?
All over the world. Now the water emergency is just disappeared because there are other emergencies. Sometimes emergency looks like it's just fashion, it's a trend. Today, this year, we talk about water emergency. Next year, we are going to talk about the heat. And the other year, we are talking about war. So the water emergency is still existing, but nobody's talking about it. So, and I took this title in a political way. I did a group of pieces with pipes and tubes, which used to be gold because the gold is important, because the expense is very important. Because
and there's children.
Water,
children getting the gold, right? In some countries.
The general idea. I did a lot of a group of pieces. Then years later, I took again this theme, and I did something more, and this is one of these. And this I made in 2022, but actually this kind of work I started in 2004.
So everybody, this is a great conversation. We're talking to Fausto Salvi, and I know me as an American English speaker, I'm doing a terrible thing with all the Italian, because there's a certain lilting quality to the way Italians speak that I'm going to get it. I need a few more days. I've only been here 3 days, so I need more time. And by the end of my trip, I'm going to be speaking fluent Italian. I know it. But everybody, we're talking to Fausto Salvi about all of his wonderful, amazing work. And I'm curious, so one of the things that I find fascinating with what's happening with you and you working with your hands is many of us are drowning now in artificial intelligence, AI. And I want to understand from you are you talking to people? You're not in AI, right? Are you using AI tools? I mean, you're using your hands. And I feel like when I think about my own children, I want them to use their hands, but they don't. They use their thumbs on the phones, right? So what is your ethos on the use of AI from an artistic, creative standpoint?
Actually, I don't like the idea, because especially me that I'm using clay, which is the first material the human being has been using since centuries and centuries. So AI sounds to me is even not interested. I'm not interested. And I have many friends who works in graphic design or works with computer. They hate and love this.
They hate and love it.
Yeah, they hate and love it because AI somehow is stealing their job, but at the end they're gonna take advantage of it because AI can help you solving a lot of problems, but at the same time you just give to all this entity information. They're gonna be very pressure for I don't know even how to call it.
You don't even know how to talk about it. You don't even know how to use the words. Well, I guess so. When I spoke with Lucio about this, right? Because he's in the design field, and
Lucio Milano.
Yes,
he's using it, I guess.
I know, and so what I'm thinking is, I asked him a question: how are you able to resist this tool as a creation tool? How are you able to resist? What are you doing to resist? Because it's very hard to resist when you're an artist. Because when you're an artist, you're curious. It's like you look at things and you want to know. You just want to figure things out. You want to see what's happening. And so I want you to tell me, because I feel like you have a stubbornness, and you have this ability to say no. And I think that's missing in a lot of people. So how would you help someone resist as an artist using these AI tools? How would you do it?
I don't know.
No,
I have no idea. Because people are very curious.
The thing that's beautiful to me about ceramics and sculpture is that it's almost like jazz. You know, it's a real human experience. It's a very internal creation. The minute you start to do it, the minute, like you said earlier in our conversation, you touch the clay, you touch the material, you touch the metal, then there's all different kinds of like things that go through your body and get to your brain. And jazz is similar. And so I feel like if I think about AI now and in the future, I try to imagine what are the human creations that AI can never replicate. And I feel that clay is one of those places. It's like clay. You can't, like, a machine can make a rug. A machine can make a shirt. A machine can print. But how does a machine make the clay? And how do you even program a machine to make the clay? Because the hands of a robot aren't going to work. The same with jazz. Like how do you jazz is a form that was created in America by Black men, right? Black American men, and it's a pure art. It's a pure art form. It's not like you studying classical music and you learn the notes and you learn the process. It's like everything's from scratch, right?
No.
So I feel like there's no way that AI could ever do this.
Maybe there is a way, but I don't like the idea because first of all, clay is the first material used by human beings since the beginning. So, and I like the idea to keep working with this material, which force you to wait. You have to wait because the natural, when it's getting dry, you can if you want to get accelerated, but it doesn't make sense. You have to wait the natural period when it gets dried, and you have to fire it slowly because it's going to break. So I like the idea to be the opposite of the fast system of AI, but everything now is very quick and very fast. You have to be fast. And when people are asking me, you were asking me for missions. Everybody's asking you like 3 weeks in advance to have a country in clay. It's not possible. You need 3 months, not 3 weeks. But they are used to be in this mechanism which is very fast, and everything it has to be fast and quick. But clay, it doesn't. I mean, clay is a natural material who has natural time and schedule. You have to wait for it. It is nice to be obligated to. You have to learn how to be patient. I'm not a passionate person.
I know, because earlier you talked about how you're highly productive and you produce things very fast, but and here you are. It's like almost like it's like literally the opposite of that, right? I mean, it takes time, and I think maybe this is the perfect time for you, right? Because I almost feel like if you wanted to, you could probably offer retreats for adults to come and literally shut down and develop the patients, because the brain with AI is creating people that don't understand how to wait.
Yeah, it's very quick. But actually, about teaching to other people to get that passion, this year I started with 12 workshops I'm doing for bigger companies with clay.
Yes.
And for them it's very different because clay is a natural material first, and you have to deal with this material in a totally different way. You have to be slow. You have to walk slow, you have to touch, you have to wait, you have to understand, which is very unusual now, especially now. And I like this contrast in between the how fast is everything and how slow I have to be, because it's a natural material that obligates me to be slow. But because you remind me that I said that I am really productive. Okay, one piece is slow, but if you do at the same time 3, 4, 5 pieces, they are getting dried very slowly, but you have more than one piece. So at the end, you have 5 or 6 pieces dried, ready to be fired at the same time. So you get anyway quicker. So
right. And your children. So you have 2 children.
Yeah.
You're about to get married. Congratulations. About to get married. How do you talk to your children about instant gratification and having patience? Do they have phones?
No.
They don't have phones?
No.
Did you see that? No phones.
No phones, because the phone is evil. Evil, what's it called?
You're right, evil. No, evil is it's pronounced the same way everywhere.
Because you don't need they don't need anything else. Everything is there.
Yeah.
And you spend all day watching them, like we do sometimes. So I admit, I use my cell phone every day because of internet. Because
you have a website.
A website and Instagram. But I'm 60 years old.
Gen X. I might add Gen X. Gen X.
Gen X with that.
Generation X. You're Generation X.
Yeah.
The greatest generation, I mean that. The greatest generation.
So for them, at 9 years old, 11 years old, you can't just give them this, come si dice in inglese?
Mobile phones.
Yes.
Devices.
Device that can be so exclusive, because they exclude everything is excluded.
Yeah, no food, no water, no sleep.
It's not important.
No reading, no art,
everything
no
is
music.
there.
Yeah.
So it's too dangerous for them, for their brain, and for the attitude to understand, to learn things, and in terms of teaching them how to avoid, as an example, AI, actually is very hard because, as I told you before, you should teach them many things that makes their brain understand that it can be dangerous, but it takes time. In the meanwhile, they're going to use AI. That's the problem.
Well, we're all kind of using.
AI is faster than you, so you need more time. The AI and computer and internet and whatever is just few minutes. You need years to teach them how to avoid this problem.
There's a lot of teaching that has to take place with the child, and one of the things that I spend a lot of time talking about, and you know this about my show, is the idea that depending on how early a child gets a phone, it can replace a parent. Which means that the child is not learning from the community and the family. The child is learning from the internet, and it's not true. It's a lot of lies.
Yeah.
And it's not.
We don't know. We know sometimes.
Because we're Gen X.
Yeah, for them, everything is true. Everything is like.
They believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This has been a beautiful conversation. I am so delighted, Fausto, that you invited me to your beautiful studio for my show, the Honest Guy podcast. And I want to thank everyone for listening in to the show. And the best place for people to reach you about your work is what?
Well, the website, Instagram.
And what is your website?
FaustoSalvi.net.
And I will have that in the notes. And what's your Instagram?
Fausto Salvi _service.
Okay, so we're going to find a way to get Fausto to the United States. He's got to sell his pieces there because they're absolutely remarkable. Thank you so much for coming to the Honest Guy podcast, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's fantastic.
The Honest Field Guide is produced by the team at Birk Creative, where brand and multi-channel strategies are designed to help you get attention, grow, scale, and keep up with the pace of change. The music on the podcast is written and performed by Utah Carroll. You can find their songs everywhere online to buy or stream. The opinions expressed on the Honest Field Guide are solely those of the hosts and guests.